Can we all stand for what?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Counselor McHugh. Here. Counselor Kimby.
Here.
Counselor Smith.
Present.
Counselor Jones. Here. Counselor Pagano.
Here.
Counselor Sinchek.
Present.
We also have Supervisor Mary Kavanaugh.
We don't have anybody signed up for wireless communication facilities. Anybody want to talk about that? We'll move right on to public comment. We'll move right to Robert Britton. Oh, I'm sorry, can we close the public hearing?
Motion.
From a couple weeks ago? All in favor?
Aye.
Any notes, abstentions? Closed. Mr. Britton.
How are we doing this evening? First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Jimmy Chamberlain, doing an excellent job for the event we had. 118 cars, not bad. Think he did a hell of a job. All right, now, for the new hires have to move to the city. We have jobs we can't even fill now. We had to call in retirees to come in part-time to fill these positions. Some of them, we still got positions that we can. How do you expect to fill these positions when you tell them they have to move to the city? We don't even have housing for them. It's impossible. If it would've worked, they would've done it years ago. Reassess everybody. Last I knew, Kyle, if you told me it was 600,000, not 600,000, to have everybody reassessed.
Approximately.
Well, how's that gonna recuperate? You think you're gonna recuperate $600,000 coming out of the fund balance? I don't see it. No offense, good idea. I just don't see it. Our fund balance is getting lower and lower and lower as it is. We need to add to it, not take from it. I just don't see how we're gonna recuperate $600,000. And the next thing, you gotta give, I know you're in budget talks, you gotta give the city head budgets that they can work with, instead of them having to keep coming back to get money out of the fund balance. Gotta do something better than what we're doing, because this ain't working. We ain't gonna have no fund balance. 2032, it's not that far away. We'll be broke. I don't know how, but you gotta give them a budget they can work. We need to raise taxes. We need to raise taxes. You're not there to make friends. You're there to keep the city operating. If you raise them 10%, 12%, do I like it? No. But we need to do something better than what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And next, nothing against Kyle, but I think the fire chief was a good pick for acting city manager. I'm not doubting you, but I'm just saying, you picked him, he was nominated. I don't see anything wrong with him being acting city manager. He's smart, he runs the fire department. I don't see any problem with it. Thank you.
All right, that is it for your public comment. Any old business from council? Move on to mayor's remarks. Again, I would like to echo Mr. Britton's comments about the 4th of July car show. Over 100 cars, I was there. Even in the rain, they stayed. It was awesome to see. So everyone that was involved in putting that together, the Legion, Jim Chamberlain, Helen, Karen Kitchen, Melissa, all did a great job. Especially when people have, could have other plans that day. It was packed, so. City managers?
Yeah, good evening, Mayor, Common Council, residents. Just a few brief updates tonight. I received a lot of questions about stuff on the agenda, so I'm gonna go over just a few things briefly. So first in tonight's agenda includes several items tied to the city's sewer collection system improvement. This is an important infrastructure project focused on infiltration, inflow issues in our sewer system. Purpose is to protect the long-term function of the wastewater system, reduce unnecessary flow into the plant, and position the city to use grant funding where available. It's important to make clear this is a sewer fund project. Any local share of debt service associated with this work will be paid through the sewer fund and sewer revenues. It would not be placed in general citywide tax levy and does not impact our general fund. Secondly, bond authorization before council is up for $3 million. That does not mean the city will borrow the full amount if grant funding reduces the local share. The city has a WE grant for $685,000 and is also pursuing working through the STAG grant funding for roughly $1 million. The bond resolution gives the city the legal authority to move the project forward, while actually borrowing would be limited to the amount ultimately needed after available grant funding is applied. And third, the wireless communications local law, also before council tonight. This law gives the city clear zoning standards for wireless communication facilities and towers. It establishes local review standards around location, height, setback, safety, screening, co-location, removal, and the ongoing certification process. The goal is not to prevent necessary telecommunications infrastructure, but to make sure it's reviewed in a responsible and predictable way. And fourth, the 2027 budget process has begun. Department level budget meetings are scheduled for July. We will continue to work through projected revenues, expenses, capital needs, and cost pressures. My goal is to give council a clear, realistic budget picture early enough for thoughtful discussion before the formal budget season begins. And finally, I want to note city operations remain busy across all of our departments, including summer recreation, our infrastructure work, codes and planning activity, public safety operations, and preparations for our fall community events, including Fall Fest. I sincerely appreciate the continued work of all our department heads and our staff, and I am very grateful for everybody's continued engagement. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the approval of minutes for June 16th, 2026.
Motion.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Motion's passed. Can I get the approval of warrant number 13?
Resolve that warrant number 13, including checks and ACH payments totaling $878,293.69, as audited by the voucher committee, is hereby approved for payment in the usual manner at the discretion of the comptroller.
Motion.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Motion's passed. I'll now transfer the meeting over to our city clerk.
Item number 1, negative declaration. Resolution determining that the proposed City of Oneida sewer collection system improvements project is a type 1 action and will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. This will be a roll call vote.
Motion. Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any discussion?
Mayor Rossi,
Yes.
Councilor Lynn McHugh,
Yes.
Councilor Dave Kimpe,
Yes.
Councilor Nathan Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Janet Jones,
Yes.
Councilor Bill Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Tom Simchek.
Yes.
Item is passed. Item number 2, adopt local law. Adopt a local law amending chapter 190 zoning of the code of the city of Oneida regarding wireless communication facilities and towers within the city of Oneida. This is also a roll call vote.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Merrick Rossi,
Yes.
Councilor Lynn McHugh.
Yes.
Councilor Dave Kimpe,
Yes.
Councilor Nathan Smith,
No.
Councilor Janet Jones,
Yes.
Councilor Bill Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Tom Simchek.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item number 3, bond resolution. A resolution authorizing, subject to mandatory referendum, the reconstruction of the sewer collection system in and for the city of Oneida, Madison County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $3 million, and authorizing the issuance of $3 million in serial bonds of said city to pay the cost thereof. This also is a roll call vote.
Motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. All this work is gonna be done for the $3 million? Is that correct?
Yes, so the packet that I passed out there with all of the maps and everything on it
Yeah.
outlines what's proposed to be done. So we try to minimize the amount of actual digging installs a lining on the inside of the existing pipe to minimize the amount of impact.
And what's the time frame for this to be completed?
So we don't have a hard schedule yet right now, like Kyle outlined. The next application for WIA grant is due on July 27th. So we'll get that submitted. Typically we hear back on those end of the year, beginning of next year. So at that time you'll know kind of the grant amount that you received and we can move forward with the project at that time.
So it's unlikely we'll know before election day with the referendum
Yeah.
about the grants. It'll be hard to know.
Can I ask a question? Will these repairs extend the usefulness by 40 years as it is in our resolution?
Yeah, so it would for those sections that are being replaced. Obviously, everywhere else within the system is still gonna remain as it is, so I can't say anything for that. But
Okay. But everything else that isn't identified here, did the camera go through and find no problem with it?
So there's some sections on there, I believe, in blue. Yeah, in the sections in blue on those maps where no repairs needed, so those are all areas that we found to be in good condition.
Okay.
What is the useful lifespan on the line that would be used?
It would be that a minimum of 30 years, everything we do design-wise would have a minimum lifespan of 30 years. Then expected to be beyond that, but a minimum of 30. That's typically the lifespan of the loan that would be associated with the project if needed, so it would need to at least be designed to last at least the lifespan of that loan.
Can I ask you another question?
Yep.
So I see there's CCTV coverage for 12,000 feet of our source system. How many feet are in our source system?
A lot more than that, I believe it was like 30-some miles.
Like 30
total.
miles, yeah.
Whoa. Okay. But just this 12,000 feet was identified as needing.
So these were the, B&L worked with DPW to kind of identify the areas that they have known issues.
Okay.
And those were the areas that we CCTV'd, and then of those areas, the ones that you see either calling for replacement or lining on those maps are kind of the worst spots that we want to address.
We started by DPW, popped manhole covers and looked inside to see where there was high evidence of high groundwater, which would be indicative of the upstream sewer systems having an issue. So using that information, then we targeted areas for additional evaluation and came up with a targeted approach so that we're doing improvements which maximize the amount of water, clean water that we're taking out of the system. So trying to get the most bang for our buck.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
Yeah.
What was the lifespan of the bond, 30 or 40 years?
30 year bond.
Was it 30 or 40?
Is it 40?
It's a
Yeah.
40-year bond?
I could be mistaken.
In the packet, I believe it said to be paid within 40 years.
40-year bond.
So is your question, if the repair is only guaranteed for 30 years, should it be a 30-year bond?
Yeah, that's ready to go.
Yeah.
The loan itself, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know delineation between the loan and what the bond would need to be, but the loan itself for this type of project would be a 30-year loan. If you go through the
From EFC.
EFC.
Right. So it's like financing a car for 20 years when you know it's only gonna make it maybe 10, sort of.
Well, we hope it lasts more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The intention would be for it to last the full.
Some of the stuff down there is like a Main Street, so I'm sure it'll last, so.
Here's a question, well, so this resolution has to be passed in order that we don't miss a grant deadline, correct? So, but Leanne already prepared the 40-year bond, so there's no changing that before we vote on it, I take it, right?
Yeah, so the language that comes from bond council is the language that they want us to pass. So they tell us, this is the language you have to pass, and we just listen to them.
Including the term?
Yeah, yeah.
I believe some of the intention with that 40 years might be just because you're passing the bond resolution now, but you're not gonna be necessarily taking out a loan on the project for another few years.
That makes sense.
So just to extend that,
Okay.
give get a little bit of a burn there.
Well, thank you for clarifying that a lot of residents in outer districts were concerned, that if this was applied through the general tax levy, that they would end up having to, put some of the bill for, the sewer repair, so thank you for clarifying that. I'm wondering, are we seeing more water coming into the sewer system, or is it just having a hard time moving along? Like, what are you noticing? Are we getting like a larger influx of water to our sewer system?
During wet weather events.
Okay,
During-
it's just,
During wet weather events, we can see up to 3 times the normal daily flows at the wastewater treatment plant.
so it's just that rainstorms are getting stronger when they come?
It's,
Or,
it's either from inflow or from infiltration, which would be cracks within the pipes and manholes. So it's not, it could be because of the storms are being greater, or the system's getting weaker
Sure.
or deteriorated.
okay.
Any other discussion?
I just wanna add before, I think we should do a lot of public, information, releasing about this project before the November election, because when they see a $3 million, item on the ballot, it's gonna be tough if they don't fully understand and have their head around what's going on and why we need to do this. So, just a suggestion.
Absolutely. Referendums are definitely always, we gotta push all those all the time.
Might be a good idea for a mailer to go out and explain the whole situation.
And maybe the monthly Sandy's newsletter?
Yeah,
Or-
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, good, okay, thanks. I'm sure I saw
Yeah,
it.
who's gonna pay for it, all I mean.
Yeah,
What about-
clarify that,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, great.
Anything else?
Mayor Rick Rossi,
Yes.
Counselor Lynn McHugh,
Yes.
Counselor Dave Kempe,
Yes.
Counselor Nathan Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Janet Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Bill Pagano,
Yes.
Counselor Tom Simchick,
Yes.
resolution is duly declared adopted. Item number 4, capital project 23-9, authorize the city engineer to proceed with capital project 23-9, infiltration improvements at the wastewater treatment plant, subject to the mandatory referendum.
Motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any noes, any abstentions? Motion passed.
Item number 5, budget transfers and amendments. Approve the budget transfers and amendments as outlined by the comptroller or a third party duly retained by the city of Oneida to perform such services.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes, any abstentions? Motion's passed.
Item number 6, acting city manager designation. Approve the city manager's appointment of Steve Vanderwhite, Director of Planning, as acting city manager during the city manager's scheduled vacation from July 11th, 2026 to July 18th, 2026, in accordance with section 12.3 of the Oneida City Charter.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
So to clarify this, last year I went on vacation, I had, fire chief as my acting city manager designation at that time. He did an outstanding job, by all accounts, very, very smooth going. Because of that, I felt that it was appropriate to designate him as my acting for a long-term status should anything inexplicably happen to me. This week coming up for my next vacation here, it's kind of my trial run period for another department head. So I lay out my standards, expectations, I tell them what I'd like to see, I give them an order of things to do, and when I come back from vacation, if things, knock on wood, went well and they're good, that's somebody I know that can move me in these positions in this capacity. So I think the ball club analogy is I'm trying to put some more depth on my bench. So that's all this is. There's nothing against Chief did a fantastic job. He's always there, and that's why he's the acting city manager designation for a long term. This is simply trying to do a little more professional development and get some folks into position so they get comfortable with answering the questions and going through the motions.
Build your bench.
Yeah. Nope. Alright.
It was fine until
number 7, approve the lowest bid meeting specifications for boiler replacement at the water treatment plant to Mack Brothers Boiler Works for Oneida, South Street, Syracuse, New York.
Motion.
Any discussion?
Just wanna say we had 4 bids, I'm super psyched about that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Motion's passed.
Item number 8, proposition, a resolution providing for the submission of a certain proposition at the general election on November 3rd with this bonding. I'll read the proposition. Shall the bond resolution adopted by the Common Council of the City of Oneida dated July 7th, 2026, authorizing the reconstruction of the sewer collection system in and for the City of Oneida, Madison County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $3 million, and authorizing the issuance of $3 million in serial bonds of said city to pay the cost thereof to mature over a period not exceeding 40 years, pledging the faith and credit of said city for the repayment of the principal of and interest on said bonds, delegating powers to the chief fiscal officer with respect to the issuance and sale of such bonds, and providing for an estoppel procedure be approved.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody smack their speaker once.
Yeah.
Ah, alright.
Good
I don't know if that was gonna work. I don't know.
Sounds like plug it back in.
Alright, where at? All in favor? Is that
No, we did.
new business? I'm sorry. Any new business from council? Alright, we're gonna take a little break and we're gonna come back and just have a little budget discussion, early budget discussion for next year. You guys are more than welcome to stay, or not. So have a good day. We're gonna adjourn after. Alright. Thank you,
John.
guys.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, nice presentation, thank